People say I ain't no good, and I'm crazy as a loon. Cause I shave my head in the morning, pick guitar in the afternoon. Just like old Chief and Charlie, I like to lay around in the shade. Well, I ain't got no money, but you better believe I got it made. Cause I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, just leave this bald-headed country boy alone.
What's up, folks? Thank you for tuning into the Josh Terry Podcast. We are brought to you by Deep Eddy's Vodka, Modelo's, Corona, Tab X. We've got other small sponsors that go along with that, but one of our favorite ones who I've got to get some product from because I cannot wait. I'm not the best fisherman, but he's fixing to teach me how to be a better one. ACC Crappie Stick is one of our proud sponsors, and we have Mr. Andy, I guess the founder of it, here with me today. And you guys are going to get to hear from the man himself. Mr. Andy, thank you for joining the show today. I've been looking forward to this.
Well, thanks for having me. We were just joking about how long I think we tried to do this for what, 6 months or so.
At
It just
least. I mean, it's been a hot minute. I look back on Instagram and I had saw where I had accepted something from you, and it's been like at least the beginning of this year. And I was like, why have we not done this yet? And I look back at our text messages and we were just hit and miss. It seems like you're on the road or I'm on the road. It was crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the way it works out. But here we are, and it finally worked out, and I'm happy to be here. So thank you very much.
Dude, I appreciate it. Well, let's start off by doing this. Why don't you tell everybody about how ACC started off in the first place, and then we'll snowball.
Okay. Well, we started 2014, so about 11 years ago, probably a little bit earlier than that, getting the LLC set up. And, you kind of start before you take baby steps when you start a business.
Absolutely.
There's not really just one day where it's like, all right, we're in business. But I was working at a Walgreens distribution center, and I was guiding on the side, doing crappie fishing guide trips. And I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial spirit. I flipped a couple of houses, and so I thought, man, why not get in the industry that I love? And I thought there was actually room in the market. There was only two, three, four crappie rod companies, at the time. You know, other markets were completely saturated and flooded and very hard to get into. And I loved crappie fishing, and I saw there was an opening in the market, and I came up with something different. We made our rods different, made them more stout, more backbone. I was kind of tired of flimsy rods, and I found the right factory after a lot of trial and error, and I started the company. And then you always start small. Every company out there started small, and it was tough. The first 3 or 4 years, God, we lost so much money. Um, I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars on paper, lost. And the banks got the note on my house, my truck, and my boat. And so, the first 3 or 4 years going into business, it's not easy. Everybody's like, "Oh, it
Mm-mm.
must be nice." It's like,
No,
well,
it's not.
go get you some because I mean, and me and my wife got separated for a year. I mean, it was brutal. I wasn't telling her the full story about, hey, we might be homeless here in 6 months. But it's just really tough. And, I'm not here to gripe or complain, but, just kind of setting it up. Very humble beginnings. I remember doing my first order, on the tailgate of my truck, and the wind blew it. It blew in the neighbor's house. And, we're operating out of, the living room, and
Yeah.
and then a little cook portable warehouse, a little storage shed. Then we graduated, down the road to an actual warehouse, like 2,500 square feet, and outgrew that. You always think, man, I'm never gonna. This is it, and then you outgrow that, which is
Yeah.
good. That's what you want. I'm sure when you thought you're like, I'm going to hit this many listeners and that's going to be it.
Man,
And then you double that and double that and double that. And
man, it's always amazing to me that when you hit that mark and you're like, I didn't think I was ever going to get here. And
Yeah.
then when you get to the next part of your journey, it's like, well, shit, I never thought I was going to get here either. Where am I going to keep going? I
Yeah.
just love those little moments, those little victories along the way.
Yeah. And you got to stop and celebrate those. But I'm sure you still I feel like it could go away tomorrow.
Oh, me too.
I mean, we're spending, running all these ads on Facebook and Instagram, and we're in all these stores, and companies will call us. We were at ICAST, and they think, I don't know, the psychology of it is weird. I think I'm still that small company in the Cook
Hmm.
Portable Warehouse,
Yep.
and we're of course not. But I think that's the right mentality. You can't
It's
get too full
imposter
of yourself.
syndrome. I have it so bad.
Yep. And we'll have companies reach out to us. I'm like, why do they want to talk to us? And we're like, oh yeah, we're in 600-700 stores, and blah, blah, blah. So, but deep down, you're still that nervous, scared entrepreneur that just got started, which is the way it should be. Like I said, I think
Absolutely.
if you get too full of yourself, that's when you get in trouble.
I think
You know,
it
we,
helps you to, I think it helps you to keep you from becoming complacent. It always makes
yeah,
you want to like do better or come up with the next thing or just
stay hungry. Yeah,
yeah, stay it leaves gas in your tank.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we started small, and now we're out here in Eastern Tennessee. We're in a bigger shop, and we're trying to move to Northwest Arkansas. And the tariffs kind of put us in timeout over all that because, of course, our rods are imported like most of the other, most
Yeah.
sporting goods, most other fishing rods. And but yeah, we're gonna make it through it. Just got back from ICAST in June. Talked to other people, how they're dealing with the tariffs, and I think we're gonna be okay, and I think we're gonna get through it, and then build that bigger warehouse. That'll be the the fourth move. So um, this one will do it. This one will be enough. It's going to be 12,000 square feet, and they're high ceilings with racking, so we can go up instead of out, and definitely room to build on this property. So I
Yeah,
think we'll be okay after.
I think you will be. What's funny is I haven't told you this yet. I remember seeing your ads on social media before we ever even spoke for the first time. And then whenever we actually made contact for the first time, I was like, oh, okay. Because there's so many, especially with AI now, like you never know what's real or what's
Yeah,
not or whatever. And one of the things that like has been instilled in me is I like my dad had a drywall company his whole life, right? And I like the mom and pop stuff still, or at least when you have an owner like you that has done everything the step, like the whole process. And I love watching people grow. So it's been fun just watching your stuff on social media and not knowing you and then seeing us connect. Like I just love the growth that I've seen.
yeah, yeah, definitely, and that's interesting. There's a lot of even in the fishing industry, there's a lot of private equity that own these big brands that own 50 brands underneath them, and we're definitely one of the small handful that isn't. I can name two or three other rod companies that are still small, quote unquote, family owned. Um, but hey, I don't blame these guys. You bust your butt for 10 or 20 years, you build a brand, and someone wants to come along and write you a check for it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I'm just
It,
saying we're still small, and keep pushing forward. And so yeah, I'm glad you appreciate that. And running those ads definitely makes us look bigger than what we are. I think there's not a lot of brands, and that's another interesting topic is marketing.
yeah,
There's not a lot of other brands doing that, and marketing, as you know, is everything.
it's
It, it's
everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I absolutely hate the word influencer. I hate it. It bugs me to my core. But when I need a boost and stuff, I know who to put on the show and who to get around me to get it up. There are some people that just have this magic power to turn whatever you're selling into a gold mine, even if you already have a great product. Like it's that way with me and artists a lot. I always say people don't know what they like until someone else tells them. So it's when you got a good product like y'all, like it's just some people haven't found out about it yet. And when they do, you put it in the right hands, they'll find out. And with the marketing scheme of it, that's what really matters. Do you already like work with some social media personalities?
oh yeah, yeah. That's when I first started, it was just me, and I started finding YouTubers because I knew, I was 40 when I started, but I knew um, I don't understand the technology and the marketing and running the ads.
Yeah.
That's where my business partner comes in later, but I did understand YouTube, and I knew I didn't want to start a channel, so I found guys out there. One of my first ones, Hook City TV, my buddy in Texas, Kenneth Pierce, shout out to him. All these people are like, man, when did you hire him? I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. He started using my rods, so and now he's got a big channel. So now we've probably got 15 or 16 of the best crappie fishing YouTubers in the country.
That's
And I
cool.
knew that was vital because fishing industry is an old fashioned industry where, everybody just kick back and you get your products in 1,000 stores and 500 Walmarts and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't start like that. So I started with YouTubers. And now we've got the best ones. And then we're doing the Facebook ads, the Instagram ads, TikTok, and an email list. That's vital. We got 70,000 people on that. So, I was trying to do all that. And then I met my business partner came along and he used to do this for a living, a big firm in Chicago where he'd run ads for Yeti and Black Rifle and all these companies. So he came and helped me. And he's like, man, this is taking candy from a baby because nobody does it in this industry. There's very
Yeah.
few. So we took kind of modern technology and brought it into an old fashioned industry, and that's how we grew so quick. We didn't try to do what everybody else did because we didn't want to take 30 years to do something. It still takes 20 years, but we got to start, a head start on it. So yeah, the marketing, people have to see it 10 times. They got to watch a YouTube video, then they got to watch two influencers on social media, then they got to get an email, then they got to, go fishing with a guide that's using them, and then finally, you know,
They'll buy.
they'll go spend the money on one. So it it
It
it, it takes a long time.
it's always kind of been funny to me, but I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Social Network when they're talking about building Facebook or whatever, and they got the guy in it, or they Justin Timberlake plays the guy in it.
Yeah.
But he's talking to the guy who's playing Mark Zuckerberg, and he's like, you know what you got to do? You got to make something cool first. Once you make it cool, everybody will want it. And that's what I think with you doing the YouTube or just anybody like working with those kind of people first. Once you make something cool and relevant, it sells itself, especially if it's a good product. It's so easy. It's just people don't know what they like until someone they admire tells them they like it.
Yep. Yeah. And we're all like that.
Yeah,
I do marketing for a living, and I'm still a sucker for a Black Rifle, a funny video, or
yeah,
it's just we want to be cool. It goes back to probably being in tribes and wanting to fit in. And
it is.
if there's 100 brands out there, and I like this guy, if there's two snow cone stands, they selling the same thing. One guy's super cool, and this guy's an asshole. Snow cone's the same. Go with the cool guy or the guy you like, or you've heard on a podcast. And
Yeah.
podcasts are amazing, and you've got a great one. And I love
Thank
sitting
you.
here talking. And I can't put this in a 30-second ad on Facebook
No,
or Instagram.
no,
Sit there and meet new people in the industry or outside of the industry doing podcasts. And that's one thing I like about this is you get to know new people and meet new people, and that's what it's all about.
absolutely.
Is connections and having a good team. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people I knew. That's just as simple as that.
It's the circle you keep. It's funny you say that. I posted a video today from an episode this time last year. It was this date last year or whatever. It came up on my TikTok or whatever today. But they say it takes a village to raise a kid, but it also takes a village to be successful in business.
Oh yeah.
And you like if you're not surrounded with people, like because I'm sitting here thinking, and it's like he's got all these great ideas, and I wonder if he's ever tried like some of the girls that we work with that fish for a living. Like if you have never had any of them connected with your stuff, I can hook you up with them. But it's just you never know where a good idea is going to come from. And if you're around successful people or people that are at least going after the same goal you are, that's usually when the best ideas come out. So it really does take a village.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, yeah, I work from home. It's a bardominium. a house and then a 5,000 square foot shop. So I go from the house to the shop, and
That
I
is my
don't see a lot
dream,
of
by the way.
people.
That is my absolute.
Oh,
I'm house
it,
shopping right now, and I've never bought one. And I have got so aggravated because in Georgia, they don't want to finance barn dominiums that are already pre-built. And it is the most aggravating thing because that is my dream to have my
it's
studio
insane.
out there and my house connected. Oh,
I love it. The floor plan, it's just open.
yeah, I love it.
Because I mean, you can scan 60 feet with a steel beam, and we're renting this one. And when we move, we're living in a barn dominium. I'll never not live in a barn dominium now. Once you live in one, but no, I got to go to ICAST. Like you said, good ideas. You sit down, you talk to other people in the industry that you haven't seen for a year, and you go out to dinner, drink a couple beers with them, bounce ideas off of. And I've got buddies that sell rods in the same. We're competing against each other, but we're still friends. We help each other out.
Yeah.
There's no point. There's enough room for everybody. But from taking care of my bankers to my friends that I've got a buddy that does private equity stuff out here, and I'll call him once a week and we talk business. And all this could go away tomorrow, but I've already built the relationships and wore those grooves and those paths where I could start again because I've learned the skills and I've developed the relationships. So you can take the rod company from me. You can take my money, but hey, I've got friends in low places and start making phone calls and start, hey, let's do this again. Let's change it. Let's do it different. And you know, I always tell people, I'm like, hey, be that guy when you walk into your bank, they smile at you and they're happy to see you. When you're doing business with people and you go out to dinner, treat the waitress nice, treat everybody nice. And you want people when they see you or hear your name to smile or wave. And
Yeah.
I want to do business with that guy, man. Don't be the hard ass that's hard to deal with. There's only a few people that get away with that. I'm no Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, so I got to treat everybody right. So I don't have
I love how you said that because you couldn't have been truer. Like
yeah,
that's the realest thing. Uh, so my persona on social media, it is me, but it's like me turned up to 10. So like when I'm in Nashville, especially, and there's younger artists that's wanting to work with us or whatever, I used to have this really bad reputation of being like I was just closed off because I always wanted my circle to succeed and I wanted the people I was working with to succeed. And then one day, like it just clicked to me, and you said it a while ago, but there is a big enough piece of the pie for everybody. It doesn't matter what industry you're in or what you do. There's so much you're not going to get every single customer in the world. You're for whatever you're doing, or every single listener in my case. And finally, I switched it up, and it just seemed like life just got so much easier me not having to me think I had to be an asshole, not an asshole, but me being closed off all the time. And it just changes it. And then people get to see who you really are. You're not pretending anymore. And it works really well for you.
I think I was probably like that when I started. It's your baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody'd be on Facebook, they broke a rod, and I'd be like, I wouldn't be able to sleep that night. And I'm
Yeah.
typing, and they're bad mouthing me, and I'm like, what are you doing? But you're just so nervous and scared.
Yeah.
The best example of that is Joe Rogan starting that podcast. I mean, he's made the careers of 100
Everybody.
comedians.
Yeah.
And so he brought comedy up.
Yeah.
Instead of him saying, no, I want to be the best, he's made comedy huge.
Yeah.
I mean, he got
He
half
brought
of
it back.
all the comedians in California live in Austin right now
Yeah.
because of him. And so it's not a zero sum game. We bring everybody up, get along, bounce ideas off each other. And life is just simpler, man. It's just no fun to
Well,
be pissy all the time or hold a grudge. It just
absolutely
eats you
not.
up.
Well, you think about it, if everybody's got a different version of success or whatever, or they should have their own version of success. For me, I want my daughter to be happy. I want to live in a nice place. I want to be happy, but also I want my friends to succeed with me. And what Joe Rogan did, and he really just changed completely everybody's mindset on it, I would believe. But it was like, if I get to the mountaintop, and I don't have anybody there with me, that's just as lonely as rock bottom. Like
Yeah, that's the point.
I want everybody there with me. Like I want to build everybody up. When we have sponsors like you and we like I can already tell like me and you probably have a relationship as friends to where some people it's a monetary thing and they just
Yeah,
want their ads out there and they want that. I can tell from just this little bit we've talked like you're a good genuine dude to where like I'd be like, hey, let me help you out with this. But there are a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people see it like they want their slice and that's it. And I just think that that's miserable. And if I ever had that mindset, and I probably did, I want to kick myself in the ass for it because it's so much better trying to help everybody succeed with you.
yeah, 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 definitely. It's like in the hunting world, you got people bickering. The rifle hunters are mad at the bow hunters. It's like, guys, you better stick together because there's a
Yeah.
lot bigger group out there trying to disrupt and destroy all of you. So this infighting isn't cool. It isn't good, and it doesn't help
Well,
anybody. So
it doesn't work either. Like when you
no,
just said about the hunting community, we got a buddy who we travel everywhere with, Will Mosley. He got second on American Idol last year. He's from here. He's like my baby brother. He's fucking huge. So he's like a big baby brother. But he had PETA come after him while he was on the show because of a hog hunting video. They just didn't understand the way of life. And what was really cool about that is you had all these hunters that I would imagine most of the time bicker and argue amongst themselves. They had a common goal of defending this kid and taking up for him and trying to show all these groups like you don't know how bad hogs tear up shit down here. Like
yeah,
you don't know what they do to farmland and livestock and all this other stuff. And I just really like that. But it's even in your community or my community. It's when you stick together, it just seems like everything works so much easier.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's funny how it takes like a problem to bring people. Post 9/11, everybody
Oh
had an
yeah.
American flag on their truck and helping out your neighbor. And it's like it's too bad when times are good. It's like we start bickering, and it's like running a business. Dealing with these tariffs and different things. It makes you, and then you look at the government and Doge and all this money. It makes you buckle down
Yeah.
and dig deep. And when times are easy, you take care of everything for granted. You forget about
Absolutely.
these lines on your profit and loss, and you're like, that's no big deal. We're doing good. Times get tough, you buckle down and be like, whoa, we need to fix this, this, and this. And that's what happened like these tariffs. We had to make some bad decisions and some not bad decisions, some tough calls. And because at the end of the day, you've got to be profitable. So we'll be stronger
How did the
for it.
tariffs affect you just from ordering from overseas parts
Yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah,
rods?
definitely, definitely. Harder to get, and then the pricing of it. Ours come from China. It's no secret. I'm not
Everything
people.
comes from fucking China. I don't want to hear anybody complain about that to you or anybody else. Everything comes from China.
You know, and this was something back in the day with when I had thinner skin. These keyboard warriors from their Apple phone that was made in China, wearing their
Yes,
Nike shoes that was made in China, and their hat made in China, drinking their Yeti cup that was made in China,
China.
bitching at me because my rods were made in China. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
the computer we're talking on right now.
made in
I'm
China.
sorry.
1000%.
If I had them made here, I wouldn't be in business
Right.
anymore. The rods would cost $300, and I'd have what people don't understand is this is kind of interesting, and I guess this is a good time to. I'm renting a warehouse off someone. All of our shipping tubes, my shirts, my hats are designed in America. My post office, UPS, my bookkeepers, my accountants, my employees, all the money I make stays here. I take my employees out to eat every week. We travel. We went to ICAST. We do, the amount of money that I, the jobs I'm creating and the amount of money that stays here, all my taxes, everything is because I'm getting quality rods at a reasonable price and I can resell them here. So all the profits and everything stays here. It's
Yeah.
created here. It churns here over and over and over. And that's something, that people don't get.
Th-
So
Those same people that are bitching about your rods not being an here have never had a business. They don't understand that the cost of living somewhere else is not the same here. so you can get something made cheaper regardless. But also, there's 100 different factors, and we export stuff. Other countries
Yeah.
import goods. Like it's not that big of a deal. I have a grandpa that we're not very close, but he was hell bent and determined. I remember this as a kid. He's like, if it's not made in America, I don't fucking want it. And I remember hearing that all the time. And then I remember going into his house, and I think one of my family members had just had enough of hearing that shit all the time, and I think they were getting picked on because he drove a Tundra at the time. And he started pointing out everything in his house that was made in China. And it's like, look, anybody on the planet would choose less money. You're not taking food out of anybody's mouth, really. Like there's different now, like in construction. Like I've seen it to where you get people that come in and just lowball the hell out of construction just so they've got work. And that's kind of a different story. But when it comes to goods and products like that, there's nobody, no one that is going to be like, okay, I can pay $5 for it here, or I can pay $500 for it here. Everybody's going to go with that. Just nobody, the people that bitch have never had to be somebody who's signing off on that invoice to get paid running a business.
Exactly. And you nailed it on the head. That's why we have trade.
Yeah.
There's never going to be enough workers in America that want to stand on assembly line and put phones together or
Mm-mm.
make hats.
No.
They just don't want to. We can't fill plumbing and electrical jobs that are six-figure salaries. So you think we're going to create massive garment factories again and shoe factories and fishing rod factories and reel factories? It's not going to, we don't have the work. We don't have the
No.
people that want to do it. And then, like I said,
You said the
you know,
right word, want to do it. No one
yeah,
here wants to do shit.
yeah. So, you go where, I mean, the company I'm with has been making rods for 40 years. They're very good at it. I went to the factory and they've got fans. They're listening to music. I've had worse jobs than this. I
Yeah.
mean, they've got air conditioning fans and they're listening to music. They feed them lunch. And I'm like, man, I've had far worse jobs than what you guys are
Everybody
doing.
thinks if you say China or overseas, it's a damn sweatshop,
No,
and it's not that.
no, no, no.
People just in other
It's,
countries don't have some of the some of the goods that we offer, like with the trade. So their stuff is that they're going to trade to us is that kind of shit, and it's perfectly fine. I promise
yeah,
you, all the merchandise that I order, it always pisses me off. If I go 2 miles down the road and I get merchandise from somebody here who I'd rather work with, I'll be like, look, this is the price I'm giving here. I know you're using the same supplies as they're using or whatever, but they're marking their stuff up because of their overhead and everything else. And I understand why, to where I can get twice the amount of stuff for the price that they're charging me. Like it just makes sense. If you're
yeah,
running a business, it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. You definitely have to. It's hard enough, you know, between tariffs and UPS gouging us on how much it costs to ship a rod. It's
Yeah.
someone's always after you. You've got to watch every line on that profit and loss statement because it's rough, between taxes and
Yeah.
it's hard to be profitable. It's there's so much regulation and so much money going out that you buy something for $1, you think I can sell it for two. No, no, no,
No,
no, no, no.
no.
You got to sell it for $4 or $5 to make 10% at the end of the day
Oh,
after all your costs. And you're like, where did all this go?
yeah.
So yeah, it's tough. It's tough to stay profitable. And that's why, businesses go out of business all the time because they throw their hands up and they can't do it anymore.
Well,
But no,
I
enough,
I think so
you know,
many
I,
people
I'm
I think so many people give up too, especially like in your position, because they're tired of hearing bitching either way. Because like if you were to make everything here, because you had 10 people, 15 people online or whatever saying it ought to be American made through and through. Well, that's fine. I'll make everything American made through and through, but then you're going to pay the American made price.
yeah,
And then they don't want to pay it. They want to bitch because the price is too high. And it's like, you know what? You're not going to buy this shit either way. You're looking for an excuse not to buy it. So just leave me alone. Let me make a dollar. Let me chase my dream here. And if ever I get to one day to where I can, because I would imagine, and this is just me shooting off the hip, But like I would imagine you hope or you strive to be so big one day that you can make them yourselves every start to finish in house and it still be affordable.
Yeah, we've looked into that, and we've talked to other companies. There is a couple other companies that are making rods here, but I mean, they talk about just the turnover, and I mean, you got to pay someone $20 an hour to sit there and tie a guide on, and that fishing rod isn't better. Here's the thing: they're still importing the graphite and the cork and all the components from China. So you can't. We don't make it here.
Yeah.
So you're importing all that from China. Then you're paying someone $20 an hour so they don't quit to sit there and do the menial stuff,
Yeah.
which doesn't make the rod better. So the price is higher, but their quality isn't better. So yeah, I don't think we ever will. I don't think we'll ever be able to.
I
It
don't
would
blame you,
be
honestly.
a risk. I'd have to put all my eggs in one basket and roll the dice. And, I'll be too old for that here in a few years. But
I don't blame you. I mean, why can't I wish people celebrated business owners that are making it and doing it the most efficient way. And because I just imagine that everybody, if it was vice versa, the person that's complaining, if they were in your shoes, they would do the same thing if they were looking at the numbers and they could see the breakdown and they could see everything. You're still putting out a quality product. It doesn't matter where it's from. Because, like you said earlier, everything that we use is made from somewhere else.
yep, yeah, it's just the state of the world we're in. And it's good because there's, like we said, we don't have the graphite, we don't have the components, the cork, and other countries do. We've got stuff that they don't have. They've got stuff that we don't have. That's why we trade, and it works out. And you're creating jobs for people in another country. People are people. Everybody's got to work. So,
Absolutely.
and but no, we're excited. We're coming out with some new items
What do y'all got new coming
this
out?
fall. Reels, people, spinning reels. We've been selling other people's reels for years. We get 10 emails a day. Hey, what reel should I put on this? We're like, Shimano, Luz, Daiwa. We're honest with them. We're telling them, hey, these are good. But now it's like, hey, you can buy ours now. We're excited
That's
about
cool.
that. Some new line of, and I'm sure you've probably got some streams down there in Georgia for trout, where it's a
Yeah.
trout slash panfish rod. So you can catch crappie with it, you can catch bluegill with it, but you can catch trout with it. And, not fly rods, but spinning trout. And I didn't realize how big that market was. And we went over to the Carolinas, me and my wife on a trip, and every stream we saw, there was 100 people lined up. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be big. I was in my bubble of crappie fishermen. That's what I grew up doing. That's what all my buddies do. And I had to look outwards to be like, oh wow, yeah, this trout market is huge. So we're excited about that. Getting some different markets too. Northeast, out west in California, southeast, different places. Kind of tap into a different market and hope these rods don't just cannibalize our other crappie rods. We want new markets and new people. So that's why we came out with these, and we're really excited about that and the reels, and they'll be out this fall. So we're really excited about that. And another reason we're excited about the reels is, I was talking about UPS earlier, and not trying to dog on UPS here, but when I started, we were direct to consumer. It cost me $10 to ship a fishing pole. And that's how we started running ads, just direct to consumer. See an ad, buy it online, we ship it to you. Well, now it's $50, $60 to ship a rod. So our direct
Why
to
did it jump
consumer,
so much?
man, that's a good question. I don't know. It is
Same
out,
weight and everything?
yeah, it's outpaced inflation by 10x. I don't know. I,
Holy
I don't know
shit.
if it's, CEO corporate. I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I had an answer for you, but nothing else. It's just because they're long and they just keep stacking it on every time, every year it's another charge. So we've had to change our business model from direct to consumer to distribution, which I'm glad we did. Um, so, these distributors start ordering in November, December, and then our busy season is until June. But we've got to wait to get paid 30, 60, 90 days. So
Oh
we're,
yeah.
we're excited about getting back into the direct consumer. We can start September, October, start running ads and get that money instantly. So we've got more money coming in the fall and winter. So it's kind of a combined business model. The distribution model, you get paid later, and those arrive in the summer when you start slowing down, but you're still getting money from them. And then the money that comes in instantly from the website. So that'll really help out with our cash flow. Cash flow is just as important as marketing. So
Well, you ain't lying. I didn't know
um,
any of that going into all of this. And I can't tell you how many times I still shoot myself in the foot left and right. We'll go to place a big order for something and it'll be like, why the hell don't I have we finally got a financial advisor that's helping me with everything, or I would be screwed.
oh yeah, definitely. Bookkeepers and accountants. I tell
Yeah.
other small business owners, I've got a buddy. I saw at ICAST, and we sit and went out to dinner. I'm like, did you find that bookkeeper yet? No, no, no. Wife's still doing it. I said, a bookkeeper does not cost you money. A
Mm-mm.
bookkeeper makes you money.
Yes.
She's
Oof.
an asset. They're here. They make you money. They
Yeah.
save you. They save you three times more than what you're paying them.
I
They
used to
they
have the
keep you.
joke. I used to have
Yeah,
the joke that I wanted a CPA that was willing to go to prison. And
yeah,
now, and now I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this right.
yeah. We've got an amazing CPA, an amazing bookkeeper, and there's so many I's to dot and T's to cross that
Yeah.
it's insane. But I'm right. You want a bookkeeper that understands the gray area,
Mm-hmm.
but isn't nobody's going to prison,
Yeah.
but he's also not afraid to get you those write-offs and
Yeah.
figure out because, like I said, it's dog eat dog, man. The government, the taxes, they're out to get you, and if you don't have a buffer you're going to get got.
Yeah.
And you have to take advantage of every step along the way, or you won't make it. So it's a team, like we said. It goes back to the team, man. You better have good bookkeepers and accountants that dot your i's and cross your t's because it's brutal out there.
Well, every time I say that to a small business owner, they're like, you're going to end up getting in trouble, blah, 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 all this shit and everything. And I'm like, look, if you don't think these Fortune 500 companies are bending and stretching every single rule that they can to make an extra dollar, you're insane. Why wouldn't you be doing the same thing? Uh, I don't see why people don't see it that way. But you're right. I mean, a bookkeeper and all the rest of the people, if you got some good ones, they're going to save you money and make you money compared to just some dumbass off the street doing it for you.
Oh, that's something I've learned. Longer we've been in this, you start making new friends and wealthy people. There's a lot of reasons why the rich get rich and the poor stay
Yes,
poor. Most of it is
100%.
habits. Most of it is habits, daily habits. And rich people know to set up an LLC
Yeah.
or a trust. They don't put everything in their name. They're investing in assets instead of four wheelers and boats and big trucks. And it's habits and it's learning the game. And, we started a breading company, fish batter, and we put it in a separate LLC.
Okay.
If someone gets sick, from eating that, they're not going to take the rod company.
Yeah.
They'll sue the breading company and it'll stay right there. And it's not crude or I'm not hurting anybody, but you learn to protect your hide. And rich people are doing that, and poor people they don't understand that.
Yeah. They think
It's
that
just
everybody making a dollar is evil. I mean,
yeah.
and it's just stupid. It's not. It's like, look, I had somebody a long time ago tell me this when it came to social media. I was getting like community guideline bans left and right or whatever, right? And this guy, his name's Ginger Billy. I don't know if you ever seen him on social media. I love Adam. He's a really good guy. He told me when we did a show together a couple years ago, he's like, look, you can try to fight these community guidelines all you want, but they're giving you the playbook. They're giving you the rules. You're the idiot for not following the rules. Now, like on different platforms, you can do something different, but figure out the rules and play them and you can stretch them all the way to the line, but they can't take anything from you if you are within their guidelines. If you apply that to business, they're giving you the ways to make money. Everybody is showing you exactly how to make money. Just the rich have already figured out how to tiptoe that line to keep their ass out of trouble, but to make an extra dollar. To where most other folks are just gonna be like, oh, you're evil. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be
Oh,
paying more tax. No, I figured out how to game the system. You need to figure it out.
exactly, exactly. And it's so fascinating. Like Jeff Bezos' wedding, they're like, oh, he needs to pay more taxes. Why? So the government can blow it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is, and this is kind of interesting, someone sees a big mansion, they're like, oh my God, what a waste of money. It's like, no, you know how many people that employed, from the people in the factory making the carpet, the drywall, the
Yeah.
glue, the duct work, the wiring, the amount of people that had to build it. So I love wealthy people. They
I do
keep the
too.
economy going. And they've worked so hard to get to where they are, they just learn to protect it. They don't want to lose it all
Yeah.
tomorrow. So they hire people to help keep it in place and protect their assets. It's not a bad thing. And you can think that. And the only people that think that are the ones that haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
It's like the people that hate live scope on social media. That's electronics that we use for fishing. They don't have it and they don't know how to use it or they can't afford it. And
Yeah.
we're all haters. We've all done it. Oh, that's stupid, that guy. Well, you're jealous. Usually, it's why you're hating on someone.
We
So,
we
but
we
no,
joke
it's
we joke down here because growing up you used to go shining, right? If there's any game wardens listening to me, there's got to be like a statute of limitations here. Y'all can't fuck
yeah,
with me. But that's what we used to do until you got infrared. Now that you got infrared, you don't need the shit no more, right?
yeah.
But you still got these people that'll be around here and they'll be like, infrared's wrong. I bet you're shining. Like,
Oh yeah. It's
uh,
people argue over, and like we talked about the hunting community arguing over bows versus high powered
yeah,
rifles. And people in the fishing industry argue over this new technology. It's getting great. You can literally see the fish chasing your lure, and it's
that's
addicting. And
cool.
it's love hate because I stare at a screen all day long. I'm on my computer at work, and then I go fishing, and here I am again staring at another screen. But we've learned so much about fish behavior. It's fascinating. Like it changes the fishing rods people want, the baits they want. It's literally changed how we fish and how we know fish react to a bait. We were in the ice ages, what we thought was happening. We got this live scope now, and you can watch a fish chase your bait and what you have to do to keep him engaged. And it's really interesting.
Well,
But yeah, people bicker about that, but it's here and it's not going away. So embrace it.
those people are scared of growth though,
Yeah.
like that's what aggravates me. Like when you started your company, or when I started this podcast, either one, if we would have been doing the same thing on day one as we were doing at year 5 for me, year 11 for you, like if we were doing the same thing, that means we have not tried to better ourselves or our product. And that's just how you get pushed to the wayside. That's how somebody just surpasses you. And that's not what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, you can't. I've had people tell me, "Oh, don't grow your business, don't go so fast, just stay small and boutique." And I don't know how to do that. I don't know. It's like a shark. If you're not growing, you're going to get passed up. And I don't know, like, what's the point of it all if you're
Exactly.
not trying to grow or get better? I mean, you want more listeners,
Yeah.
even though you've probably passed what you thought you were going to be happy at years ago. It's never enough. And I think that's just
Uh,
mankind. And we have to strive and try harder. It's what kept us alive. You got to keep hunting. You got to keep growing. So yeah, these companies that make these electronics, they can't just go, oh, that's it,
yeah.
because the other guy is going to do it. It's like AI. Everybody was against AI, but other countries are doing it. We have to do it. And it's fascinating talking about your financial advisor. Man, this AI stuff, my business partner is sharp with it, and he uses it for ordering our rods and forecasting because it takes us 4 months to get our rods. And we've got a busy season and a slow season. So you can see how that kind of you run into problems. Certain rods sell better during different times of the year. And we've got to order them 4 months. We've got to get them in the fall and winter and have them for the winter and spring. We can't get a full container in August. And then you're worried about cash flow. So that he's using Chat GPT, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
I talked to a pharmacist the other day, and he's using it for cash flow models and when he orders his drugs to keep them in. You got to use every single tool you can. And if you want to stay in the ice ages and complain about technology and it's not the good old days anymore, good luck.
Go to a third world country is what I tell them.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna hate it when you get there.
Yeah,
You have to progress. Like I don't want to be left behind in regardless of what it is in my life. And when you're given a tool like Chat GPT or any of these other AI programs out there, why wouldn't you? If it
yeah,
makes life easier, why wouldn't you? That's why they're developing this stuff. A lot of people like I don't like that there's some folks that are using it for songwriting or writing movie scripts because that I do get how that affects artists. Now that's bullshit. Like I don't like that. That's too far. But
yeah.
with something like business and scaling up stuff the way that me and you would need, oh yeah, it makes the most sense in the world. I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah, yeah. You've got like we said, you got to keep trying and moving forward. There's got to be, we talk about we embracing technology, but man, there's got to be a point where it's like it's still hunting and fishing. I mean,
Yeah.
it keeps growing, but it's like, yeah, we got to slow down. But I think the market will dictate that. I think when people stop buying it and they're like, no, that's too much, then it'll pull back. It won't sell anymore. If deer hunting isn't deer hunting anymore, they're not going to buy that thing,
Yeah.
you know, and the market will kind of dictate and pull it back where it needs to be. The market always dictates what works. And when it gets to be too much, people quit buying it. They're like, all right, we pushed, we found the limit, and we're not going to keep making it because it doesn't sell. So, I think we always find a balance and an equilibrium. And the free market usually finds that for us. So I think we'll be okay.
Well, I think with fishing and hunting, I think that it's only going to get bigger moving forward. I think because, and I really do take like it should have always been something that was taught in every household anyway. But I really do think because of COVID and people seeing the way that the supermarkets and all this other stuff shut down and everything, I think fishing and hunting's only going to be a growth industry moving forward. Like if I had the kind of money that where I could put into a business like yours, I'd do it in a heartbeat just because I think that people are fixing to start more than ever relying on putting food back in their icebox like our grandparents, our great grandparents did. I don't I mean these young kids, like my daughter's 13, she'd be fine with it, but there's kids that go to school with her that'd be like, oh my God, blood, a fish. Like they'd freak the fuck out. But they're gonna be the ones that if things go bad again, they're gonna be the ones that are hungry. And I think a lot of people are seeing that now. I think it's only growth for you guys.
It's funny. We were talking about this in Arkansas, and it's coming up September 14th. We go to the World Championship Squirrel Cook-Off,
Oh, that sounds
and it
great.
is the coolest thing in the world. And you'd love Joe Wilson. They've got a podcast too. I'll send you a link to
All
it.
right.
He was just on Bear Grease with
Okay.
Clay Newcomb talking about it. Meat Eater guys, they're there. But these new products and the marketing that we're doing makes hunting and fishing cool, and it brings more people into it. And we got to talking about that. Like squirrel hunting isn't as cool. And we're sitting there, why? And he's like, because there's no cool products.
Yep.
Deer hunting is cool because you've got the corn, the all the products that brings them in, the deer stands, uh, the scent free stuff, the
Yeah.
everything that
Even the
hundreds of
attire,
products,
even the attire people are obsessed
all
with.
of it.
Yeah.
We could get together in our garage and start a deer hunting product and fishing products and fishing rods. And then you see cool videos on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and people want to do it. So, like catfishing, I've got buddies that own a cool catfish rod company. 10, 20 years ago, catfishing was what your grandpa did. He sat on the bank with a cheap rod to go put meat. And now there's tournaments in he's by making catfishing cool and the products cool, he's brought more people into the industry. So sometimes, these companies can kind of drive the growth. We kind of, it comes up with us. like I said, you see the cool ads, the cool funny videos, and you're like, some kids like, I want to go do that. So we kind of work in tandem with each other to kind of grow these industries, I think. So, and these people vote. So you want to keep hunting legal and to where we can all go hunting and take our kids hunting and fishing. So I think these companies are part of it. And we join these groups, ASA groups, and they go lobby for us, the meat eater guys with the hunt and the you know, public land and stuff. The more hunters there are, the more public land there is. And, we get people to go to bat for us. So it's really that growth is good for all of us and our kids and our grandkids, I think, to keep public lands and public waterways. So
It's
we
definitely
like
something
helping
that's
out.
needed. It's definitely something that's needed. And like I even feel like I'm 37. I even feel like with my generation that it started. My dad, he never hunted growing up or whatever. He never did a lot of fishing or anything like that. But the other side of my family did. Like, they lived on a lake, so that's where I got it from. But it was where like you could see it kind of dying down, and I see it now where it's picking back up. I guess I just wish more people would go out there for the first time and have that experience and have a great experience. And it's because of products like yours and other companies like you just mentioned that give them a great experience the first time. That is where like, oh, okay, now I want to do this the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's something we've got kids rod combos now, and I give away so many of them. We lose money on those. We sell them, but then I'll give away two or 300 of them. There's so many kids fishing derbies around the country, and social media is good, but I'm lucky and you're lucky. I grew up fishing. I didn't know what social media was. I'd get on my bike and put my fishing pole on my bike. I grew up on a farm and ride to farm ponds and neighbors' ponds. And we were secretive about it. We're like, we
Yeah.
didn't want to tell everybody where we were fishing.
Where you had a
So
honey hole at, you wouldn't tell nobody.
so at least I started with the wholesome, I was fishing literally because I loved it, not to post pictures. Now I like posting pictures, but at least I started the right way.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you
a
have to
lot of
post
kids,
pictures now. You have to. There's no way about it. With you having the company that you have, I'd post everything that I could.
yeah. But unfortunately, a lot of kids now, as long as they're getting into fishing, it's good. But a lot of these kids are getting into bass tournaments. Like the first time they'll ever fish is in a bass tournament. So they think fishing is running around in an $80,000 boat and all this cool gear. So we want to, we've got YouTubers that creek fish, fish out of a kayak. We give away all these kids rods. It's like, all right, the social media is cool, but let's not forget our roots. Let's get these kids out here in a farm pond without a phone in their hands, just fishing for the fun of
Absolutely.
it. The good old fashioned way, and not forget about that just because we do have the social media now. Because I remember how fun it was, fishing with my buddies, no pictures taken. I remember I ran home with a 5 pound bass one time, so my grandma could take a picture of it with a Polaroid. I mean, that was our social, that was it. That's as far as we
Yeah.
went with it, run home and a
You're just
Polaroid
proud.
picture
You're
of it,
just proud to show it off.
Yeah. And it's on the refrigerator. That was social media. Grandma's
Yeah.
refrigerator, there's a Polaroid, and you can almost tell it was a bass.
I know
So
exactly what you mean. I love that.
yeah, yeah. So we really, and like our blog posts on our website, is informative articles and like I said, trying to get the kids out there, with these kids combos and hopefully kids keep coming up and getting into it for the right reasons just because they enjoy being outside and putting that phone down. I know I went yesterday. I took the day off, went fishing. Man, I felt better just out there in the
Oh
sun and
yeah.
instead of staring at a computer screen and like you said, that's where the ideas come from. Out there talking to your buddies, talking to you. Um, you know, like they say, the business deals are made on the golf course, not behind a computer.
100%. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
well, that's when you're just enjoying it again. That's what everybody misses. Like we play so much golf now that it's insane. and I'm not even that good at it, so it makes it even worse. It's easier to cast a line than it is
Yeah.
to hit a ball down the fairway. But yeah, dude, that's you're just at peace. You're just happy. You're just going back to just being just loving life again and it not being about business. And just, you know what, if I can just reel this fish in right now and show it off, or if I can just hit this green, it's you're just happy. And when you're that happy, the endorphins are firing and you're gonna get better ideas. This everything is just gonna make sense in those moments.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough to come up with good ideas when you're stressed out,
Oh yeah.
just reading the emails and that's why, the kid that works for me here at the shop, both of them, he sits there and answers customer service emails all day long. And he started forgetting that those were people, those were human beings.
Yeah.
So I started taking him to shows with me, and people would literally walk up and shake his hand or hug him and be like, "Thank you. You made my day, man. I wasn't going to be able to go fishing that weekend, and you shipped it and you took care of me." So now he's like, "Okay, these aren't just idiots sending emails. These are human beings that took the time to buy our rods, not someone else's, and go fishing with it. And if they've got a problem, they're reaching out, and I need to take care of it."
Yep.
And it really flipped a switch for him. Where, I mean, like I said, people were coming up shaking his hand. And I've got a funny story. I was headed out. I'm like, I got to go. I was heading to Mississippi to go fishing. He's like, "Hold on." He goes, "I got this situation. This guy says he broke a rod, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Take care of him. I got to go." So we're down there in Mississippi and they're pumping water and the wind was blowing. So when we put in, there was a bunch of humps and shallow water. We made it out just fine. On the way back, I got hung up on just mud. The water was too shallow. And so I got my green boats in there and a guy goes by and he's got green boats in his or green rods in his boat. I said, "Hey, why don't you help pull me off this stump and I'll give you another one of those fishing poles?" I said, "I own that company." He said, "Your customer service guy just took care of me Friday."
That's
And it was
awesome.
that guy. So whenever you think you're too big for your britches and
You're
don't want to
not.
take care of customers, I just ran into him and he's the one that pulled me off that mud flat. So I literally took care of a customer that helped pull me off of a mud flat. I could have been like, "Oh, screw him. I'll never see him." But you never know. And it's a small industry. The guy that you piss off today, you're going to have to see tomorrow down the road. We were down there at ICAST in Orlando, the entire fishing industry there. And, everybody's like, be nice to everybody here because he might be down here tomorrow. He might be a buyer of Bass Pro Shops tomorrow.
Yep.
And you smarted him off last week because you thought you were hot shit. And now he's in charge of you. He's over you now. And that's just life. It's not just the fishing industry. It's, you get in an argument with someone and, they could have a bigger podcast and want to have you on
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah,
So
100%.
it's just karma and it's just being a good person in general. Anyway, it's not rocket science. So
Well, it's just one of those things to where, and I've had to learn this a lot over the past couple of years. It's if you're a shitty person, shitty things are going to happen to you. It's not
yeah,
necessarily karma. It's you brought it upon yourself by
yeah.
not being a good person. But when you're a good person and you treat everybody the way you want to be treated, stuff starts happening to you. But when you really break it down and think about it, it's just because you're doing the right things. It's just because you're treating people the right way, you're doing everything the right way in business. Good things are gonna happen. There's no other way. Like you're not gonna have the worst shit in the world happen to you if you're doing everything by the book and treating people fairly. You might
Yeah.
have bad days. Now, everybody's gonna have a bad day. But if you're doing stuff the right way and being a good person, good things are gonna happen to you.
And if bad things do happen to you, you've got lifelines. And
Yes,
if you're a bad
100%.
person, if you're a bad person and you've burnt bridges and something bad, who are you going to call?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it all works out. But no, I love the industry. I love the fishing industry. I love the people. I love to be able to go and travel and see them and meet our customers and meet someone like you and, go on podcasts. And so it's really, truly exciting. And this is the kind of stuff that, like I said, I enjoy. I sit and answer emails all day, just put out fires and solve problems. And then to get to have a conversation, with someone like you, it's all worth it at the end of the day, making new friends. So
Well,
I
you made one today, boss, and you did a hell of a job. Before we get off for the, tell everybody where they can buy the rods, the website, your social media. Let's send everybody your way. I want them to all go get something from you.
okay, everything's ACC Crappie Sticks, the website, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's all ACC Crappie Sticks. You'll find us. You can get on our website. We have a store locator. If you don't want to buy it online and pay the shipping like we were talking about earlier, we're fine with that. Go find a store near you. Support your local tackle shop. And yeah, just follow us on social media. Get on there, look up these YouTubers. If you see a YouTuber crappie fishing, he's got a green rod, that's one of ours. We've got like 15 of them, and we take good care of them. We pay them good. We take care of everybody, and we promote them. We promote our pro staff too. So we it comes full circle. So it's something even like our local stores or just our mom and pop stores. We run ads to them, so they'll buy more through the distributor. They'll sell more, and they love it. We see them at the shows, and they're like, "Oh my God, we got." When they get our rods in, we'll do a paid blast to that store and say, "Hey, go to this store now," and they'll have 100 people come in that they didn't even know that that store was there. So we're helping out our small mom and pop stores. We help everybody within the entire circle that deals with us. So yeah, just go to the website, get on the store locator, look for those reels this fall, those trout rods coming out, and send us an email. Send us suggestions on social media. I'm always doing videos and asking for feedback. We've had so much customer feedback just doing videos and saying, "Hey guys, what size reel should we come out with? What kind of line? What kind of rods do you want?" It's not about what I want. It's about what the customers want. So we listen to
Absolutely.
you. Send us your feedback. Guys, we really do listen to you.
It
Thanks for
it
being there for 10 years, customers. And thanks to you for helping us get the word out there. And stay in touch with me, man. We go to Nashville time to time. We have shows over there. We'll have to come have a beer with you and hang out or do
absolutely.
another podcast or something. So
I'm definitely gonna have you back on. So there's just certain people that when you have on, like I said at the beginning of this, I have people that want to come just promote their business, and then you're like, okay, they're a sponsor. I'm doing my due diligence and all this kind of stuff. But then you meet people like you, and after the past hour, and we're still recording, by the way, uh, you like them and you realize they're doing business the right way and you realize like there's a reason why this person's successful, and you said it earlier, you surround yourself with successful good people. Like you're another one of those. You can come have a beer and hang out and teach me more about fishing and all that kind of stuff. I want to learn some new tricks. um
yeah, and
yeah, you
like
just seem
like
like a
this.
genuinely good person is what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like helping everybody out as much as they've helped me. I didn't get here by myself. So yeah, when you find
No.
out when this is going to air, send me the link. We'll put it out on our email list. We'll put it out on our social media, and maybe some of your fans will like me, and some of my fans will like you.
Let's hope so.
And hey,
It's
like
the
we said,
goal.
let's all keep on trucking and keep getting better and make the world a little bit better at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely, Mr. Andy. Well, thank you so much for your time, brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. And I can't say thanks enough. I
Well,
appreciate you.
I probably liked it just as much as you did. And I
Well,
hope
good.
each and every one of y'all liked Mr. Andy. Go follow him across the board on all social medias. Order some stuff from him. I know I'm about to. I'm probably gonna ask for some freebies, to be honest, with my cheap ass.
Yeah.
But go follow him across the board with everything. He's one of the good ones, you can tell. Thank y'all for listening to the Josh Terry podcast. We will catch y'all next time.